Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to Sissy Jam. We are here to talk about design reflections. Let me tell you a little about Sissy Jam first. Sissy Jam is Europe's #1 glass producer, exporting to 150 countries with operations across 14 countries on 4 continents, thus establishing a wide global presence. They are one of the top 3 global producers of glass in all its main business lines, with 85 years of experience in the glass industry and their strong expertise. Sissy Jam holds a workforce of almost 22,000, earning a revenue of over $3 billion. Welcome everybody to the page. Let me tell you a little about the series that we are here for. It's my pleasure to welcome you all today in an engaging live session with a very special designer. It's called Design Reflections. It's presented by Sissy Jam. Design Reflections, as you know, the name suggests that it reflects upon the present, the past and the future. The future of the role of glass in the industry and the present that it holds, and what have we delivered from the past. We will also know the past, present and future of the designer, talking about their experience in the design industry. Moving further, let me invite the designer back again with us. It's my pleasure to introduce her. Her guest speaker for today's session is Aashita Chadha. She is the co-founder and CFO of the acclaimed firm called the KariGhars. Welcome Aashita, welcome back. I think we lost you, so I thought let me just reintroduce you and reintroduce the session. Her drive for interior design and passion for creativity has allowed her to deliver inventive and insightful solutions for a multitude of design complexity. Welcome Aashita. We'll lead this further from now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Imani. Thank you for having me over.
Yeah. If you can just take the lead and tell us a little more about what the KariGhars does and your role in the design industry, and then we will move further and talk about design reflections.
Sure. So the KariGhars is the brainchild of Abhishek and me. We both are the co-founders of the company. We started it around 12 plus years back. And we started it just like our own baby, nurtured it like that. And now we are a big name in Bangalore, all over India. We are doing luxury interiors for residences in Bangalore. And we are also called the gods of contemporary design because that is what our forte lies in. And it's been quite a journey, of learnings of all kinds of things, from designing to now I am the CFO of the company, but I still have my roots in designing. I still enjoy that. So it's been quite a journey, and we are so glad that so many people actually trusted us. So grateful for everybody who has been a part of the journey, and a part of this brand. Building this brand has not been only 2 of us, it has been the effort of so many more people. So really grateful for this particular opportunity and where we are today. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. We are happy to have you. And, now we will dig in a lot of information from you about your life and also about glass, for our audience. Let's start with your early life. I would like to know a little more about, how your childhood was, and, did the childhood shape you in a certain manner, and, what was your family background like?
So I've been brought up in a very simple setting in a small town called Jamshedpur, and the thing which I feel has kind of shaped me influenced me most was my mom. So she is a perfectionist, super organized, and she has a way of doing stuff in a very beautifully aesthetic way. I think it just kind of rubbed onto me. So even though we had difficult situations with her, throwing all our clothes out of the wardrobe because it was not set right and stuff like that, but now I realize all of that has kind of made me into who I am, and really just that sense of aesthetics just just the way she would, keep stuff, even the way she would hang clothes on a clothesline. There was a beauty, there was a sense of aesthetic, there was a perfection in all of that. So even though I didn't realize it at that time, design has been such an it has been such an integral part of my childhood growing up. The way she used to keep her house, in fact, I believe design is a part of every single human being's life, whether we understand it or not, in one way or the other, right? So those small things, I feel, kind of just kindle that fire of creativity in me. So yes, I did science. I'm an engineer by profession, by education. But this spark of creativity, which was actually my passion, kind of pulled me into where I really wanted to be. So yeah, that's what I would say.
We're happy to have you in this industry, though. I just want to know that we've talked about our childhood. I'm sure everybody's mother shapes them in a certain disciplined manner, and we add on to the design aesthetic on our own, like you said. But I want to know. Let's say if you were not here, if you're not in this field, then what field you would have chosen.
Okay, undoubtedly, I would have been a life or a wellness coach. So these are my two core. I mean, it took me a very, very long time to actually figure this out for myself. But I now know that my two core passions are creativity and spirituality. So even though I'm in a creative field, and I feel spirituality is completely connected with life. It doesn't need a separate field per se to be in. We can get spirituality into everything which we do, the way we interact with people, the way we really are holding ourselves every single day, right? So if I was not in this industry, I would have been a life or a wellness coach for sure.
Wow, I think that's an absolute requirement when you're dealing with clients, right? That if you're a coach, I think you can sell better, you can be better, and you can design better, right?
Yeah,
That's the this
totally.
led very well when you are into this wellness coaching, right? So I think that somehow is here as well. And let's see. So tell me that how you were going, like you said that it started from your mom, but was there a stage where it felt like this is my phase of inclination towards design as a child, and when did that love for design develop? I mean, it doesn't have to be really like childhood, but it can be recent years, it can be any time. So what is that?
So, when after my engineering, when I got into my first job, which was a software job, I was actually designing software. And I don't think even then I realized that this is what really, pumps me. Okay. When we started this company, the KariGhars, the only intention which we had was to kind of bring professionalism into this industry, because this industry at that time was extremely unprofessional and very, very painful. The whole experience which people were going through was extremely painful. So that is what we kind of wanted to just smoothen out those points, because this is a very important phase in any person's life to actually build their own home. It's a dream. And then why shouldn't the process be happy? Why shouldn't the process be something you look back on and just smile and say, wow? That is how it started actually. But only when I came into the industry and I started designing, only then I realized this is the high which designing can give me. It's unmatched actually. So yeah, it took a very long time. It took a lot of trial and error, a lot of introspection, um, trying many paths. But yes, this is what it has been. This is how I think we all kind of learn to know ourselves better.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. KariGhars now has been in the industry since long. So, how do you kind of stay relevant in the way that there are areas of design that probably you want to explore further, and the kind of latest trends that come into the profession, the technologies that come into play. How do you stay upbeat with that, and how do you explore a particular style of design that okay, this is now going to be the trend, or are you like a trendsetter, or do you follow somebody? I mean, how do you work that out?
See, I believe life is equal to learning. So I believe I'm a learner for life for sure. So uh, when there are so many people around the world actually doing research into small things which we don't even realize, it just becomes a part of our lives so simply. Just take an ergonomic chair right now. It's what an ease it is. I can sit on it for hours without any neck pain, without any back pain, without even realizing how much effort has gone into it, how many years of research has gone into building, the height, the perfect curvature, every single thing, what kind of foam goes into it, how high my handrest should be, where my footrest should be, stuff like that. So I really feel that now in this time when we are all so closely knit due to technology, I feel it's a boon because I can just get to know the latest things happening everywhere in the world. Everything is on my fingertips, so I'll have to keep updated. I wouldn't say that we kind of follow someone for any design per se, trend per se. We try to keep up with the trends because they're based on what our clients are asking, because they also are exploring, they also have ideas of what they want their homes to look like. So if there is a client who would ask for something, then we'll make sure, if we've never done it before, we'll pick it up, we'll say, okay, let's all learn together, and this is a time, let's do it. But I would still say, our hearts lie in contemporary design for sure. That is where it's like our weakness. We do everything else based on the customer's needs, etc. But our hearts always lie with contemporary design. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, like you said, that clients are well traveled nowadays, and they go and they explore a lot of trends, technologies around the world, and they come back with queries to designers that, okay, this is what we want and this is what we want. Now it is your job to execute it however you want it. So I think a designer, whether an interior designer or an architect, needs to be upbeat with what really is going on in the world, and has to constantly keep learning. So glad to know. I think we've lost Aashita. Okay, so I think there was a little network issue with Aashita. She's yes.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what the internet wants to play up when we really need it.
No problem. Not. I think there are pros and cons of technology, so let's be it. I mean, we're having a good time here, so that's important. All right. Okay. So like you said, you have to be constantly be upbeat about latest technologies, and I think that is the way forward if you are talking about the future. So tell me, what is the favorite part of this design process that you have? Like, is it the conceptual stage? Is it like involving yourself on site, or is it the final, delivery day? What really excites you, as being called as your favorite space?
When I look back and ask myself this question, it's very interesting that it has changed over the years. There was a time when I was really loving the design. There was a time when I was really loving the execution process, actually making sure things are shaping up and seeing them, every single day, one after the other happening. There was a time when I was really, really happy to see the end product. What I'm enjoying right now is actually interior styling.
Wow.
That is what I am just enjoying so much. Just how small elements can completely change the space which we've built. See, because we built, an interior designer can only design things for, which will last for life. And we being human beings, we kind of get bored with the same thing, right? So how do you actually bring that element in which will make sure that you don't get bored and still make you feel that it's new. So just throwing in the cushions, the rugs, the artifacts, books, candles, just a wallpaper, just a painting, just how small elements can completely transform the space. I think I'm really enjoying that right now. A table scape, doing that up, just doing it up for a photo shoot, which angles, what kind of finishes will kind of reflect the light,
Yeah.
all of those things. I think interior styling is what I'm enjoying right now.
Great. I think I believe that it's one of the most exciting parts because it doesn't include a lot of civil work and it doesn't require all those HVAC happening, which are more technical on the end. And this is more on the end where that it is going to result into something beautiful, and you can see the result right in 5 minutes after keeping the element, right, or installing the element. So that's the good part. Okay, so I would like to know, let's move on to how glass has done that in interiors as well. Because initially we used to make all those brick walls, we used to make partition spaces, but now because everybody is so interested in a barrier-free space, and they would like that there is more openness to a space that they have, and specifically when we are living in a metropolitan city, we have apartments, we have high rises. So I want to know, what are the unique ways that someone can use glass to enhance an interior space?
So I think glass is such a versatile material by itself that it's just our imagination which can limit us. And we've just been evolving over the years. It's so nice to see that. When Steve Herman actually built the Glass Pavilion in 2010, it was a huge thing in architecture. Nobody had done that before. And now everyday thing. We see those glass facades everywhere. Every office is doing that. But in the interior space, it's so nice to see. I would say glass lightings. Right from that to our ceilings. Just look at the blown glass ceiling in the Bellagio.
Right.
You can just use it anywhere and everywhere we can think of. So we use the spandrel glass in places which we need to hide, like our beams, our HVACs, our wirings, etc. We use glasses as partitions where there is a wall. There is a partition needed, but it's not really a wall, it's a transparent wall. It is allowing the outside to come in. So it's so versatile, right? So right from walls, we are using it so much in all our wardrobe shutters, in all our panels. Yeah, wardrobe shutters, kitchen shutters, panels, glass shelves. Glass decor pieces now. Of course, tabletops, countertops, even our kitchen backsplashes, even kitchen countertops now.
Yeah.
It's just endless. It's just endless. Terrariums. Can you believe it? We don't realize, but yes. Yeah. So it's just endless. I think it's just, this is where our designer's creativity comes in. One designer will actually use it and then it becomes a norm. And it's so nice to see one material which can be just used in so many different ways.
Right, absolutely. I think you can mold in any shape, size, whatever that you want, and can use it as multiple places. Initially, I think people used to use glass in facades. When these skylines of urban cities started building, and that's where glass came into the picture, where people were just using it in exterior spaces. But now it has taken us a leap and come inside houses, into commercial spaces, public spaces, everywhere. So I want to understand that what are the thought processes that go into the decision of incorporating glass into an interior space, because some people probably might be apprehensive about using glass, or are people more open about using glass? What is the client mindset when it comes to using glass in an interior space, and how is the approach as a designer to use glass in a space different from what it's used in architecture, like more into facades? What is the difference?
So I would say people are a lot more open to using glass now, because the pandemic has kind of instilled this in us. We want to be as connected to the outside as we can. your home office cannot be your couch anymore, because you are actually spending 9 to 6 so many hours sitting at one place. So even homes which don't have a separate space which can be dedicated to a home office, we create a glass partition which may be in a dining area. So in the morning time it is used as a home office, and then at night it doubles up as your dining space, etc. So much more. The only thing we kind of have to see is where exactly that glass is being used at. As is it being used in the kitchen? Because then it has to be treated in a different way. It has to be able to withstand heat. Is it being used inside a bathroom as a partition? Because then we have to make sure that it is treated in a different way. It is toughened so that if there is any breakage which happens, it is contained, it doesn't break into shards, right?
Right.
Stuff like that. So basically in the interior space, I would say it depends on which space we are using it in, and that is when we decide what kind of glass we want to use. If
Right.
it's for paneling, or are we using it as a shutter, or are we using it as a partition? What exactly are we going to do with it? Whereas in a facade, it is a completely different ball game altogether. If it is being used in a warm country like India, we need to make sure that the heat is kept outside. It reflects the heat so that the building itself remains cool, right? But suppose if it is being used in a cold country, then it should be able to contain the heat which the sunlight is getting in, the warmth which the sunlight is getting in. So it depends. We have to work with the E coating value, right? And it is so we also have to see how durable it is going to be in wind and storm, how it should be able to keep the dust outside, all of that. So when we are using it for facades or in architecture, then these are the things which we kind of keep in mind. But for interior, it is very, very space specific, I would say. If it's for a countertop, it's a different kind of a glass. If it's a tabletop, it is a different kind of glass. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. I think the different space utilization of glass, like you said. I want to understand that glass, does it have like, does it also affect the natural lighting that's coming in? Because we know that, now everything's about exterior, interior, because people are spending so much time at home. So, how do we use glass for that purpose?
So much of glass. Initially, like you said, it was being used only for commercial buildings.
Right.
Now people are using it so much more. Even in their houses, we see so many houses with glass walls. You can actually see your gardens. Really, really get that. You don't even feel that you're not sitting in the garden. So there is a kind of a separation, but it's not that hard separation, because your viewpoint is still being able to see the blue sky, see the water, see the greenery, all of that. It's just like it's there but not there. So you get kind of the best of the both worlds. So that's why I feel it's so versatile, because it'll allow the light to come in. It'll make
Right.
sure the heat remains outside or the cold remains outside, so weatherproof. Plus, I would say the pro which we have is that it reduces the heating and cooling needs of that particular house, because it is able to shield it from the weather outside. So in summers, we don't really need to use the air conditioner so as much as I would need in a concrete or a brick wall house, right? Similarly, if I have used the right kind of glass, right, which is
Right.
going to reflect the weather resistant stuff. Yeah. So, that is an added pro. Sustainability, or our electricity bills come down, and it's good for the ecology.
Right, right. So, like you said, you mentioned sustainability. So, tell me that with sustainability now as the primary concern of the design domain, like anybody who even hires a designer or a designer getting into a project, the first design domain that, aspect that anybody asks for is it sustainable or not? So, how would glass address sustainability when it integrates into the interior space? One, you already told us about how nature can be brought indoors, but how can we integrate it better with interior space?
Actually 2022 has been designated as the International Glass Year. So, yeah. Plus, why glass is such a famous sustainable material? It actually 1 ton of recycled glass saves 670 kgs of carbon dioxide.
Wow.
So it's huge, right? Then it is 100% recyclable and recyclable on loop. So it doesn't, the quality of glass that it doesn't deteriorate with every time you recycle it. So every time you recycle, you can get the same quality as you would have got the first time it was made. In fact, if we are actually recycling glass and making glass, then we are reducing air pollution by 20% and water pollution by 30%. So
Wow.
it's easier because, when we are recycling glass, the cullets, the melting point is extremely low. So it takes so much lesser energy, so much lesser means, resources to actually recycle glass and just make a new bottle out of it. It can actually happen in less than a month's time. A bottle which is being recycled today, in less than a month's time, it can be back on the shelf again. So, plus, we are actually, if we are recycling glass, we are saving the resources like soda ash, limestone, sand, the natural resources. So it's like, a win-win situation everywhere. Plus, the the latest research which I'm so excited about is photovoltaic cells. There are researchers which have been able to figure out a way of using these photovoltaic cells are basically glasses which can be used in facades. They can be
Right.
used in rooftops, in our car rooftop
Right.
sunglasses, all of that, and they will actually generate solar energy. So
Wow.
I think this
That.
is the game changer in the solar industry. So basically, any glass panel, even glass blinds, even
Right.
glass blinds, even those, if we are able to mass produce the photovoltaic cells, then I think this is really the tomorrow. The glass panels which we are actually using, they generate solar electricity. What else would we need? And why not would we use
Yeah,
glass?
I agree. I mean, what else would be left for the future? I mean, I think we could save so
Yeah,
much, right? Okay,
yeah.
so tell me, can you give me some instances of, any of your projects where you've used glass extensively and, you've integrated glass in an innovative way?
So one of my favorite ways to use glass is, in the Art Deco form with a lot of these gold and rose gold inlays. I think that is something which I really am enjoying doing and as also seeing everywhere right now. Plus, we have been using glass in our, wardrobe shutters, etc., for a long time, and the best thing which we are able to do now is actually digital printing on glass. So just any kind of print on glass. Okay, so we just did recently a whole kitchen with glass shutters with a marble Satwario print on it, and it just
Wow.
looks so gorgeous. So it's like, it's really so beautiful to see that any kind of painting I want, any kind of image I want, anything I can dream of, I can have it either on my wall, either on my wardrobe, either on kitchen shutters, anywhere. So yeah, we have been doing so much more with digital prints on our shutters, with in our panelings, and our art decors. I really love those.
Wow, great. Okay, so tell me something. Since we are talking about usage of glass with people, do you think that the application of glass in interior space affect the wellness of users? The reason why the switch has happened now that instead of the confined spaces, we've started using barrier-free glass everywhere. Is it a reason that it kind of affects the wellness of users too?
Absolutely, absolutely. See, when I am working, suppose in my home, and I am, I just look up from my computer and I see the greenery outside. I see the blue sky. My eyes would just go and rest maybe on a bird which is flying. You know, it just instantly changes the wiring in my brain, right? It's such a, nature just has such a calming effect on us, and we all have experienced that, right? So when, plus, when we are so much more, we are able to be so much more connected to nature because of the extensive use of glass, then obviously it affects us, it just calms us down, and very, very much more needed in our super stressful lives, if I may say. So it just doesn't affect our wellness in that way. The wellness is affected in so many other ways. I would like to think that even if I'm not using the air conditioner for maybe less than if I'm just reducing it an hour every single day, then I'm actually doing so much good to myself, because I'm not actually going through the ill effects of being in the air conditioner, isn't it? And similarly, every other thing which we are using, which has become a norm, but we don't realize how much those things affect us in the long run, right? So, for example, our own circadian rhythms are set by melatonin, which is a hormone created by our body, which actually puts us to sleep. So if I am waking up early morning, or whenever I'm waking up, and I am just taking in the natural light with my eyes, if I'm just doing that, it kind of resets the circadian rhythm of my body every single day. So, I just move my curtains away, the natural light comes in. I don't need artificial light. I don't need all of those extra rays which the artificial light is putting, on me, inside my house, on my face, everywhere, right? So these are just small things, but they affect our wellness and, well-being in such a deep way. It's kind of very difficult to gauge, but yeah, it is there for sure.
Absolutely. I think now it's become part of our lifestyle that, we see glass at least somewhere or the other every day, like around us as we wake up, as we move further, as we go to office or we come back, there's glass literally everywhere. So, tell me something, let's sum this up. I would want to know from you that what advice would you like to give future designers, as a designer, in the profession of design, and as, for future designers for the application of glass as well?
So, one thing, of course, I would like to say is I don't think the older generation of architects and designers were so aware as much as we are about sustainability, about ecology. So, whatever with the advent of the technology, all of that, so much has already been done. Like we've really used up too many resources, we've made buildings which were not so green, did all of that. So now is the time for every single designer to wake up and be aware, really do their bit in making sure that at least they are reducing carbon footprint by some percentage, right? At least do their bit. For this is firstly for sure. Of course, they can do it by adding so much more of glass in their, whether it's the interior space, because even we have been the interior industry has been so dominated with wood. It's not so eco-friendly, right? We will run out of trees. I mean, the wood is actually only coming from the trees, right? So of course that is there. One more thing which I would like to add, which I have kind of realized over the years, is you know being a good designer is actually 80% communication. You have to be able to communicate with your peers. You have to be
Right.
able to communicate with your leadership, with the people who are actually executing. You have to be able to communicate your ideas to the client. You have to be able to come up with ideas, come up with, your future plans. Anyone, I mean, it's not so difficult to come up with those ideas in your head, but are you able to actually communicate it to the world in such a way that it can become a reality, right? So I feel designers, a lot of designers, if you are not someone who just gets it naturally, communication, then please work on it, because this is going to take you places. Of course, the ideas are there. Communication is also very, very important. That is the one which is going to take you places.
Right. I think, and that should start from the grassroots level of education of design. I think, everybody
Absolutely.
has only been learning about how to design, but now I think things are moving and things are changing in the direction where people are valuing communications and presentation, because I think that is absolute, necessary now when you're dealing with a global audience and dealing with the well-traveled clients, and it's a necessity. Thank you for sharing, such an insightful knowledge about different things of design and glass with us. Thank you, and thank you for coming in for Design Reflections by Sissy Jam. Thank you, Aashita.
Thank you so much for having me over. I'm so grateful to CC Jam and to One Digital for giving me this opportunity. I hope it really helps people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aashita. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, the audience, for joining us. This is architect Himani Ahuja. I am the communication specialist of One Digital, and we make your brands come to life, changing their core identities through communication and PR. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining in.